For Module 3, Lesson 1, we have 3 goals. Our first goal is going to be, I can describe what integers are. Second goal is going to be, I can describe what opposites are. And our third goal is going to be, I can locate numbers and their opposites on a horizontal and vertical number line. And hopefully you wrote those goals down. Now, we're going to go to the exploratory challenge. We're going to construct some number lines. So on your notes here, let's begin by making a horizontal number line. Horizontals go left to right. And we're going to put little arrows on each side of them. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to call that 0. And if I go to the right, I want to make sure that I have even spacing, because as we go to the right and to the left on number lines, we go up and down by the same amount. So we're going to keep it simple, and we're going to go up by 1s here. Notice as we go to the right, the values increase because we're getting farther and farther away from 0 to the right. Now we're going to talk about negative numbers here too. I'm going to try to keep this evenly spaced as best as possible. As you go to the left on a number line, the values decrease by the same amount. So this first tick mark will represent -1, the next tick mark -2, the next tick mark -3, then -4, and then -5. Notice the way that it's written. Okay, we always start from 0. So in essence, the numbers on the left of 0 go in the opposite direction as the numbers on the right of 0. Now I'm going to draw a vertical number line as well. Hopefully you created enough space to make a vertical number line. Vertical means up and down. And like I did with the horizontal number line, I'm going to start with 0, and I'm going to go up by the same amount. I'll go up by 1s in this case. And then if I go below 0, I'm going to decrease by the same amount. Notice how these tick marks are labeled. As we go up a vertical number line, we increase, and as we go down, we decrease. Now the last thing I want before we go on is that every one of these tick marks on these horizontal and vertical number lines, they represent something called an integer. An integer is a type of number that we're going to study. And an integer is any positive or negative whole number. And 0. 0 is also an integer. So 1 is an integer, 2 is an integer, 3 is an integer. -1, -2, -3 is our integers, as well as 0. Integers do not have halves, fourths, or any fraction. They also do not have any decimals. We will get to those in the future, but right now we're going to focus on positive and negative whole numbers and 0. Now let's go to the exercises. It says complete the diagram. Count by 1s to label the number lines. We're going to do that for both horizontal and vertical number lines. Let's see, I'm going to start with 0 somewhere in the middle. And we're going to go up by 1s and then down by 1s for both of our number lines. Now we're going to plot the number 3 on this number line. When we plot a point, we actually put a point right where the 3 is at. On a horizontal line, there's 3, and here's our vertical number line, there's 3. When we plot a point 3, that represents how many units it is from 0. Now number 2 asks us to show and explain how to find the opposite of your number on both number lines. Opposite is a term that we need to know. An opposite is a number that is the same number of spaces same distance from 0 on a number line in the opposite direction. So if we look at our number line again, we have 3 plotted in both of those. We want to know what the opposite of 3 is. Well, 3 is 3 units to the right. I need to know what point will be the same distance in the opposite direction, and that would be 3 units to the left. If I'm talking the vertical number line, 3 is 3 units above 0. I need to go the opposite direction, the same distance. So the opposite for 3 is going to be -3. And then the third step tells us to mark the opposite. So we're going to put a point on -3, both the horizontal and vertical number line. We're going to skip number 4 and we're going to skip number 5. What I would like you guys to do for class and for homework here is I want you guys to do the problem set questions. You need to work all of your problems out on notebook paper. Draw the number lines if it tells you to draw. Make sure you graph them and label them and answer all the questions. Have all of those finished by tomorrow, 1 through 7.